Okay, Chairman Tsao, thank you for this opportunity to have this dialogue around your role at your organization and also the leadership hats that you wear. Let me start the conversation at a high level by asking you to talk a little bit about the multiple hats you wear at your organization and talk a little bit also about the history of IMCPAA.
Yes, I am this generation steward for the business of a family business. Family business is a little bit more complex than normal business because they have a family system and a business system interacting. Their history, especially our family business is 120 years old. And there are historical kind of backdrops. And there's family legacy that kind of intertwine with business. So in family business, they have this role structure of a 3 circle, and there's 7 rows in there. Ours is a little simpler because I have removed 1 circle, and now we only have 2 circles. Because we do not have shareholders. In my generation, I have come to the conclusion that you get too many roles, you get too much confusion. And one of the major roles is shareholder. When you own something, you tend to think you own it. But wealth and business is owned by its purpose. If it's not owned by purpose, it will start owning you. So you think you own it, but it owns you. And thereby many family business cannot be over 3 generations. So we come with nothing, we go with nothing. So in my generation, we decided to split into 2 different trusts, but same mandate, closely related, and run by protectors. And I'm the protector of the business. But I'm also management of the business. I'm a chairman of the group. And in this era, we have to have a different way of reorganizing the business because there's a different social contract with this type of structure. And the role will change. You think about normally what this kind of a social contract is like. Shareholders working with the management, especially the many shareholders, they say if I make $1, I give you 2 cents. I incentivize you. The quicker, the more you run, because I'm short-term shareholders, the more I give you more. It's all linked to share prices. That created a different kind of social model for business. Another is a little longer-term family business. Okay, I incentivize, but we take a really long-term view. And therefore, it's a little better because it's a business model, it's a little more long-term, it's much more aligned, and it's still incentivized. But the difference in our model is that we have no protectors. The family become the protector to form the business family. And the business family, which now we're extending not only the staff but their family, start looking after and serving a bigger family called the free market or humanity. And return, the system look after everybody through the exchange of commercial economics. And they take a long-term view. So now we have this kind of social contract that we're creating, and therefore the role I play there have multiple, because it's very different kind of role. So that this type, and this type. So I'm considered the last type, which is simpler, but your role become more complex. Because let's look at what leadership. Leadership is a ship. The leader is trying to build the ship to sail together. And that is the process of I to we. The I to we to serve the social contract against your mission. And our mission is serving well-being of life while creating wealth. And so therefore the role can be, sometimes they call me schoolmaster, but your role actually is how to build that ship.
No, I love the metaphor of a ship, and I love the fact that how you articulated you are the protector, or you are driving the ship, if you will, to serve the society or serve the social contract, if you will. 120-year-old history. Talk a little bit about how the organization has evolved through the years, or through this 120 years. It's a long period.
Well, yeah, it's a long period, but there's some principles. We have some in our mandate. It talked about distillating the principle behind it, right? So number one, brand is everything. What is brand? Brand is your credibility. Brand is authenticity. Brand is my word is my bond. So brand is very important, and brand is the only thing you can invest, and it's long term. Number two, you're always serving the era. So my great-grandfather served China trade, mostly serving Western trade, become the distributor, their servicing. My grandfather was serving China as it moved up, and Japan was industrialization. My father was serving Asia industrialization, which overlaps Japan and Asia, which overlap to me, which will serve Asia industrialization, and then now we do supply chain, but now we're moving the new era. Now I have to figure out how we can serve the new era, because that's the finishing of the industrial era and the beginning of the well-being and happiness era. So we're in transition serving the era. You always serve the era. Humanity exists in the civilization called the era. So these are things we do. And good management is also very important.
Sure.
That's your competitive advantage. Good management. And in the good management, leadership is important, culture is important, process, all that is important. But the most important thing is how do we move from I to we to serve the mandate. And in the process of I to we, you have cohesiveness, you have leadership, and in fact, I to we, you have love itself.
No, I love the articulation, but I would love to ask you, how has the family values rubbed onto the business?
The first thing we define family. Family is where we first experience love, where we learn to love, where we express love, when we become love. The first and the family charter. What is family? Number one. Number two, what I just told you is distilled from the family wisdom. Now the Chinese family, in a very tradition, they have this own family temple. Inside there will have the family tree thing. It will also record everything happened or special thing that's done by each generation. And then it has a family, not only policy, the family philosophy that guides you, the family regulation, and the family culture. This has been Chinese culture forever. Now, when the communists came, all that gone. So we now adopt a crossbreed of the Western approach of a family charter, retaining this essence, but make it even more simple. So in there, as I said, values, credibility, authenticity. Love for sure, it's in there. Good management. Value, we have one value. Make it simple. All the other value goes under one value. Make it very impactful. Add value to life. So we have differences in us, because we all have different values and liking and disliking. This decision, does it add value to me, to us, to life? That becomes a measurement assessment that we can have a conversation. Without this value, how do we choose? How do we make our differences? How do you run the fair processes? Because there's no fairness. With these guiding principles, we can run the fair processes. We can run the matrix even. And shifting consciousness is our theory of change. These are the things that are important. Of course, there's structural things. We need to have a stewardship program. We need a learning. We need a different kind of investment committee and all that. These are structural process issues. But the essence is in fact the wisdom from the generation of the generation. That must be the essence but the interpretation must also fit the context of the era as we go generation to generation.
Got it. So when you say add value to life, that being the sole central theme or the central value of the organization, tell me, how does it manifest for a leader, let's say a senior leader like yourself or somebody who's running a business or a function? How does that impact the day-to-day or the month-to-month operation of a senior executive? Add value to life value.
Well, eventually it becomes a demeanor, right? So how it deal is in your consideration. So, for example, AI is going to come, and we know that people are going to lose jobs, right? And then we started looking at the nature of AI and how it is, and then we discuss what are we going to do respective. Then we come to the conclusion: does it serve first the bigger thing? Why is AI? AI came because now AI can free humanity to be humans again. Otherwise, we make it so hard to become a robot. And then, of course, it will create great things because now we can work on something more because our GDP is performed by AI. Then we start looking into it all the way down, how its impact on the vision down to what do we do now? So our conclusion is speed it up. Why? It's a musical chair. If we do it slow, you think that you do good for the staff, but actually the last one out has no job. You still like accountant, they still need some, but maybe 60-70% is gone. If you leave it up behind that, they have to change. But if they were to do, they still need 40%. So training, convince them not to be fearful, digitalize faster, push harder, so that when they are ready, they have experience, they go out there. Oh, you have just gone through. Now, you know, so we engage them to learn so you can be replaced. And then you go out, we'll write a recommendation. You participate in this project, what you do. You have a chance of getting a job. So we have to help people overcome the fear. We have to increase training. We have to speed up digitalization. This is the way of thinking. So it's not like should be fired, not fired. If you drag along, we should not fire people, all these kind of definition, you'll find at the end of the day you're not doing them a favor. You have to prepare them and their family to go out and how to go out. Or maybe some of them, I'm sick of being the profession, I've been here 20 years. Then you help them some other ways. Does that explain?
That explains, and would love to also understand what are the other challenges that I'm sure it's been a long ride. I'm sure it's not all been a rosy ride. I'm sure there've been stalls or challenges along the way. So talk a little about, let's say, the 2 or 3 biggest challenges you faced in your career as a leader.
There's only one thing: shifting consciousness. There's only one challenge. If you shift the consciousness, you shift how you see, then you shift how you think, how you feel, how you choose. We only have one challenge: how to help people see, how to help them shift consciousness. And I have developed a program for that. After many years, this is our theory change. Theory change is not an assumption. Theory change is trial and error, research, do it myself. We found out all the other things which otherwise been challenge for us because we're not hitting the nail on the head. The theory of change is finding the best way to help people shift consciousness.
Brilliant. So, we were looking at your website, and one of the things we picked up is the IMCPAA's aspiration to steward moral market economy. Talk a little about that.
Well, we're all going to hell, right? The market economy that we created. Who would know better than the devil who builds it? And understand its nature. And it's very dangerous. So we have to do it. So how do you do it? Show it. Doing by showing. Nobody knows how to do it. You keep doing it and do advocacy and invite them to join. If they can see, so we do research, if we do this, what is the improvement? Because everybody wants to look at corporate performance. So you have to prove corporate philanthropy, improve corporate. You have to prove well-being, improve corporate performance. You have to prove many things. So we have to do research. to build a case that doing good and is doing good and doing well is the same thing, but take a longer term view. So what else than to do it, measure it, which you need, demonstrate and advocate it.
Of course, and it ties very well with the steward leadership values that we talk about at Stewardship Asia Center. One final question I have for you is about your leadership style. I know you have a different take on it, but talk a little about your leadership style or leadership values that you have.
Well, a month ago, I forgot which magazine was interviewing, and said, "Oh, Mr. Tsao, well-being and happiness is great. What is your idea of happiness?" I told him, my idea of happiness is to get rid of the idea of happiness.
Okay.
And this is the same thing. What is a style? Is it a habit? Is it a choice? Is it your personality? I tell you, leadership is a need. It has to change to other people's needs. If this needs to kick his ass, you gotta kick his ass to wake up. If you want to shift consciousness, what a way to shift the consciousness. There's no packaging. It's just getting it done.
Brilliant.
So the best style is to be able to work all styles.
I like the idea of being able to work all styles, which is also being resilient and adaptable, right?
Right.
So, with that, let me thank you, Chairman Tsao, for spending the time with us and having this dialogue with us. I learned a lot during this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.